Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second part of our engineering sync today. We're going to be talking about Leo is going to be going through updates to Subspace JS, our front-end API to the Subspace storage network. And we're also going to be talking about Polkadot.js apps or the Subspace, I guess, implementation or flavor of Polkadot.js apps and changes there. So Leo, please take it away.
Yeah, we had some updates in Subspace JS, like a first version of the main branch, actually, that covers these put and get methods, and it's working. And we have these examples folders that are running with Node.js and a React example. And I also have a pending pull request that I am working to have this HTML and JS example, like Reactless front end. And the branch that is there, it is working. But I have built it with Browserify, and I have some comments in there from Nazar. So I have to resolve that to make a pull request to the main branch. And with that, I think that we have a version of this library working with the latest. I was testing this with the latest main branch from the Subspace repository. And yeah, I think that having that merged, we don't have any pending issues relating this library. I also added some documentation and all the instructions to make it run.
Great. Can you open up share your screen and kind of walk us through those changes in a little bit more detail, please?
Are you seeing my screen, please?
Yes.
Yes. This is the main branch, and this is also the instructions and some explanations about the storage API, about what we are doing in terms of the backend, what we are consuming, and what we are exposing actually, regarding this palette object store and the methods from the backend that we are using, this put and find object. And what we are doing with the library is basically exposing this identity and this Subspace client instance with these methods. And these are the examples, actually. I think that I have one running. Yeah, this is the example in JS. It loads uninjected accounts, for example, and you can load a sample image. You can put the files, like injecting with the singing transaction with the Polkadot extension, and it returns your object ID. Then you can get this file, and it will show you in the same image in the UI. And basically, sorry, like I said, we have this identity and this Subspace client classes that have some documentation here. Maybe the syntax could be improved a little, but we are exposing this method to load an account from WebDress extensions and to load an account from a seed. In all the examples run with a sample seed from Alice, and what the constructor does and what it returns, and the same for the Subspace client, how to create this instance with the connect method, what it receives, and the two main methods, obviously, this put object method that receives this object as an array of bytes, and it sends the put to the object store, returning the event with the object ID, and this get object that connects to the farmer provider and send this find object query to get the object data. So we resolve this returning as an array of bytes also. So you can just get the file in the UI as a return. And yeah, I think those are the
Leo,
these main
quick
updates.
question on that.
Yeah.
With the get that you showed us in that simple HTML example, how is it getting it? Because it would have taken like 10 minutes for that to get uploaded on the blockchain.
I have a network running. I have a network running, and I already uploaded a file. If I upload a new one, yeah, it takes like 10 minutes, and when you get the object, you got an error that the object has not found until you can requery until the object is available.
I think we might want to add like a note about that, otherwise people will try it and be frustrated.
Yeah.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, how to handle that. Because I mean, they can actually get the object. They have the object, right? So they can get it immediately. But if there was like a separate screen where there was like a search, that you drop like an ether scan or something like that, where you can drop a hash in and get it, but it's not live yet, then there should be something that would say like, this object is not available, however, it has been submitted or something like that, like just to give, like this different statuses that we talked about before, like transaction submitted, transaction in block, transaction
maybe
archived.
we can add some section in the code to with a way to know how many blocks are pending to be archived to start this confirmation. Is there a way to do that, to know that? If I know the block where I submit the transaction,
there are constants which you can know, but yeah.
Maybe if you get the object and it's not available, maybe we can send a response with.
Yeah, you can actually wait for a certain number of blocks, and then you can track the root block event. And when it is deposited, that means that we've archived something. So yeah, you can actually do that. That will be significant piece of logic comparing to what we do right now here.
Yeah,
we're just
I think we need to have we probably need to have like a better kind of back-end architecture for how we're handling that, and like events versus trying to like reconstruct all that on the front end. It should really just be subscribed to some event notification that is
like a new method in the library, like to track the object, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, thanks, Leo. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's our relating the Subspace JS, I think. Yeah, that was the issue and the initial request, to have this put and get and these examples running. I will add these notes on wait for now, and I can work in this way in this extra logic.
Okay. Have all these changes been approved and merged?
Yeah, the only one missing is this branch, but the main parts are already merged.
Okay.
And sorry.
Are there any outstanding tasks that we discussed last time for Subspace JS?
For this, I don't think so. just a question for Nazar in terms of I made this HTML running with Browserify to have this bundle.js that was able to run in the browser and to be imported as a module in the HTML. And I got that idea from the basic instructions in TypeScript to have this like bundle in just one file. But if you know a better way to do it.
Yeah, I was doing the same a while ago too, but it seems like lately it's really not the way people develop applications anymore. So like everyone is using some kind of bundler and just ship non-bundled libraries. So I would just set up some very minimal Webpack, maybe even like TypeScript example, so you have types. I don't know, but like very minimal config with like no tree shaking or anything like that. Something simple, but with Webpack, so you can use like all the like nice imports and stuff, and not having to use global variables like you do right now in that example. So it will be just a bit closer to what people actually do in the wild.
Okay,
Maybe we just create what?
Sorry, sir.
Maybe we use some of those like hosted like online coding editors with all dependencies and stuff, like Fiddle or something. Then we don't need to do anything with Webpack and stuff. We just create like example with React, next maybe like example with Vue.js, whatever.
I think it might be challenging because we will like if you have a chain running locally, it will be on the non-secured connection, and I believe from HTTPS you need to connect to only HTTPS. I might be wrong though. I'm not sure. It seems like having
Just an
examples
idea.
folder is a good idea in the repository either way.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Serge.
Yeah.
It's just probably something we want to wait until we have maybe a more stable version of this, because this is really just to get feedback from people. And just given that it's like a D app, we should really want it to be self-hosted and like easy to do locally as much as possible versus having to require on some like third party, to play with. But I think it's definitely something that we can do in the future. And it will definitely help with getting people, to play with it quickly and understand it. Go ahead, Leo. Sorry.
Yeah, because we actually don't have a way to connect to the farmer still, to the farmer RPC. So we cannot have this working in a public environment, actually. Just working with a local node.
Is that in the README at all? Is that specified anywhere?
All the instructions are made to run with a local node.
Okay.
Not with
on the farmer
RPCs.
endpoint. On test A, definitely we have a version of the farmer which should support that endpoint. I don't remember who, but I think it was you that wanted to add those endpoints.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but we have to make some updates in the Nginx, I think, and generate the endpoints.
Yeah.
Okay, can you add that?
I can add
add that as a to-do? Yeah, that's something
in the test A environment, right? Is that the one we are not using? Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's everything related to the Subspace JS library. I think that having all merged, we can publish something. I don't know how to do that. If we use GitHub or npm for now, something internally.
Okay. I have a question regarding what Nazar had said earlier. So we don't expose any of this as TypeScript. Like we don't have like types or anything like that, like a type definition file for any of this yet, do we?
It's automatically generated by TypeScript.
Oh, so we can use it in TypeScript.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, great. So it's really okay. So it and is that specified in the README anywhere? Is that clear? Or is that just assumed? Is that
No.
like everybody knows that these days?
No.
It's
like-
kind of obvious from the repository. Like you will see that most of the code is in TypeScript. So,
Okay.
and I believe also on npm, if you open like a package, it will show like an icon of TypeScript if it's in TypeScript.
Okay.
They kind of figure it out automatically.
It's just that there's a lot of projects in the ecosystem where they don't actually have TypeScript support, like in the crypto ecosystem. So it's probably just something we might want to just mention, like, oh, and it has types too, like exclamation mark or something like that, just to show it's a nice feature that is really helpful.
And we might call the library Subspace TS.
Yeah.
Some people do that.
Yeah, that was another thing we could do just to make it super clear. Okay. What do you think regarding publishing it on npm, Nazar?
I don't mind.
Okay.
Seems
Yeah, I
to
think.
be in pretty good shape, and the API is what we wanted, so why not?
Okay. Leo, do you have access now? I think I added you to npm like a month ago. You're muted, Leo.
Sorry. Yes, I have access to npm.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and get that published to npm as well.
Okay.
And every time you publish to npm, first create a tag on GitHub, so people know what version it corresponds to.
Okay. Yeah. No problem.
Awesome. Okay, anything else? Any other questions, comments for Leo regarding Subspace JS, Subspace TS? Okay, so great, Leo. So yeah, let's.
Oh yeah, I got a question.
Let's-
In terms of in the repository, in the about, we don't have any description. So when you go to the repository, you just see Subspace.js without a description. It's weird. And I was trying to add something tiny, but I cannot edit that.
Oh, you don't have permissions to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe
Nazar,
we can add something in there.
Can you adjust Leo's permission so that he can do that? I think you're like full admin on there.
There was a problem with that Leo was merging some things without review. So I just removed everyone basically from all repositories to make them non-admins there.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Really?
Okay, well, just shoot the sentence that you want to Nazar, and he can update it in the description.
Yeah,
that's the easier way to do it. Okay. Okay, so so next steps is we're going to get this published to npm, and you're going to merge in this HTML example once that's approved, and we will publish this to npm, and then we will be ready to start doing some example, to get some feedback on this from some developers, and also to start doing some example integrations with some of the parachain partners we're talking to in Polkadot.
Yeah, and probably we can make it work with the test A and have something to work with that in the public, with the public.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, and closing that, I think that we can talk about Polkadot apps.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. We had some pending issues in there, and yesterday after the meeting for the Subspace desktop, I downloaded the Subspace desktop and make it run with the latest version of the relayer, because I had the same issue in there, and I was able to fix it. And I realized that the solution struct had changed. So when the Polkadot apps try to decode it, it crashes. So it returns a null string, an empty string for the author, and that's why you got this 0x00000 in the author identity. And I was able to fix that in this Subspace desktop, because I was doing exactly the same in there, and I was moving this to a new branch in the Polkadot Apps Explorer to make this pull request. Yeah, and I was working in that regarding these Polkadot apps, and after that there are two pending issues with this missing progress and the block time. And I think that there is a way to do this with a custom component for our consensus engine. I think we can add like a custom behavior for our sub engine. Yeah, and maybe we can. I will open an issue actually, like describing this problem, and in the Polkadot itself, in pointing to these changes that I am making in the repository in our fork. And I will probably push a new branch in the Subspace desktop with this updated Polkadot version, Polkadot.js version, and with this custom author also working in that, because otherwise Osgood maybe will not be able to run it, to make it run. Anyone actually, if you try to run it right now, when you try to connect to any node with the latest version, it just crashes and it doesn't get, you cannot get into the farmer UI. It just got stuck in connecting and it's in there forever.
Okay, so I'm happy that you're trying to get ahead of the game there and start working on that, Leo. But you've got 4 different projects you're working in parallel, and that's the lowest priority of the 4. So let's wait until we get these other projects, the other tasks that we've discussed, complete. So we had that call on the farmer yesterday just to sort of get everybody on the same page and talk about what we need to start doing. But we need to complete these other projects before we really start working on that. Okay.
Yeah, it's just because it was like the same files. It's just a copy paste actually from the Polkadot apps, from our Subspace TS file in the Polkadot apps. It's just a copy paste to the, and remove all the, I removed the custom types from the latest version that you said, this metadata version 13. So it was like, yeah, a copy paste to that.
Okay.
It's not a priority actually for me. Yeah, and I think that that's everything in Polkadot apps. Those are the main 3 issues that I was solving. So today, I think that I will be focused in the relayer changes to make this work with the latest, with this latest Serge updates, these new parachains and Polkadot. And after that, I will be continuing in the Polkadot apps. But I want to open the issues between today. I think you can open the issues in the Polkadot repository today.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of priorities, let's get the relayer front end in sync with the changes. Serge is done with the back end, so we can support Polkadot and the new parachains. That's the top priority. Then we've got these longstanding issues with Polkadot.js that we need to resolve. So we need to just like finish that, and then we can do the remaining stuff with Subspace.js. That's sort of the last step here. And then once we get all 3 of those at like this sort of state that we're happy with, then we can then we can start thinking about the desktop farmer more. But I expect it's probably going to take you a week or so to get all three of those, up to par right now. But the relayer is definitely the priority at this point, and then Polkadot.js.
Yeah, sure. I was actually having a conversation with a guy that knows a lot about Polkadot Explorer, and these missing progress components are really hard to make them work. At least for the Eon and the Epoch, will be hard to do it because are like custom things from our chain. They don't. It is not like the way the Polkadot front end works. Like doesn't allow to inject more components in the Explorer. But we'll see.
I would say those widgets are lower priority than just fixing the author and the block interval.
Yeah, the block interval is, I think is the most easier from all of them.
And the guy that maintains Polkadot.js, Jaco, he's super responsive. So if you create an issue describing the use case or like submit a pull request, he'll just get back to you in a few hours. It's amazing.
Yeah, there is a guide in there to create the issue, and if it's well formatted, he will probably answer really soon.
Okay. All right. Anything else on Polkadot.js apps, Leo?
No, those are the pending things in there.
All right. Any questions or comments from the group? Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks for all the updates, Leo. Appreciate the hard work. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you again next week.